Previously, we finished the first phase of creating a template from scratch, and that was we started from a blank document and created a mock-up of a purchase order, a sample of what we would like to have when the purchase order is printed from our system. The result of that was a document like this. Now we want to go and explain the basic concepts and basic designer elements in the Docentric Designer. When you install Docentric Designer, you get this toolbar Docentric AX. And when you open any Word document, you will see that everything here is disabled except for the first icon, Uses Template. So the only thing I can do here is click that icon. It's not as simple as that. I actually have to point to some valid so-called DDSP file. DDSP stands short for Docentric Data Source Package. It's one XML file that is created from D365 in a very simple way, and we will see it in the second part of the training when we talk about the setup in D365. For now, let's just say, if I want to get the DDSP file, I need to go into the Docentric setup in D365. I need to switch on one flag that says generate this DDSP file when report runs, and then I need to print any purchase order with that special option set on. As a result, I will get that purchase order printed in a way how I requested, plus in addition, I will get also this DDSP file. So, what is DDSP file? As I said, it is one XML file that has all the information that Docentric needs in order to work with the designer. So let me show it to you. Because it is XML file, I can open it in Notepad++. It has three very important sections. The first and maybe the most important one, you can find it by searching for report data. Here it is. You see it begins somewhere in the lower part, in the lower fourth of the document. It is the report data source schema. Every report designer, every tool working with the design of the reports needs to know how the report data source looks. Which structures does it have? What are the names of the structures? What are the fields in these structures? The field names and the field types and similar. So the same is the case here. We have a purchase order header with the fields like amount, euro, and so on. Each field has, we know what is the type of the field. See, this one is decimal, 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 string, and so on. And also they have some labels related to these fields. Then if I collapse the purchase order header, there are lines, transaction lines, and text lines. So once again, report data source schema is the first and most important part of this DDSP file. If we start again from the beginning and again search for this report data, I will see a section that we call sample data. So what does it represent? The exact values that existed on that purchase order document which I used from D365 for printing. It obviously had one header and it had these 7 lines and one text line. All these values that are there, you see some amounts, some invendim, some item IDs, descriptions and similar, all these values. We call them sample data, and we will see later how useful they will be when we test our design. They have the purpose of allowing us to test directly from the design without the need to apply the design in D365 and print a document again, but these values will be rendered and we will see the result based on them. So the first section was down below report data source schema. Here we also have the sample data, and finally at the top what we see some languages that we specified when printing this DDSP file. We had a chance to specify in which additional languages we want to be able to test or preview our design, and based on the selection, all these labels that appear in the report data source related to the report data source schema or fields, all these labels are also translated here. So again, we will be able nicely and conveniently to test directly from the designer, so we can work completely offline without the need to go back and forth between the designer and the report. So this is the document that we will import, and this is also the end of explanation of what DDSP file is.